Maps of Europe unfold, a continent on the brink, borders soon to be erased. Poland falls, the invasion visualized. A stark depiction of impending war. The maps morph, a silent scream of nations, conflict escalating rapidly. This is artificial intelligence, a voice echoes. Reconstructing the Second World War. Tension fills the war room as Allied leaders huddle around a polished table, the fate of the world hanging heavy in the air. A radio crackles ominously, the declaration of war, a stark pronouncement that silences the room. Faces etched with grim determination. The leaders steel themselves for the looming conflict. Apprehension flickers in their eyes, a silent acknowledgement of the immense challenge and sacrifice ahead. Across the serene French countryside, shadows fall as the relentless march of German tanks begins. The earth trembles beneath the weight of the Blitzkrieg, an unstoppable force reshaping the landscape. Steel behemoths advance, their presence a stark contrast to the peaceful fields they traverse. In the distance, smoke rises, a grim harbinger of the conflict-consuming Europe. Within months, the German Blitzkrieg reshaped the map of Europe, a stark reminder of the war's impact. London, 1940. The Battle of Britain explodes across the night sky, a canvas of destruction painted with fire. German planes scream overhead, delivering their payload of terror onto the city below. Searchlights claw through the darkness, desperate fingers seeking to snatch the enemy from the sky. Explosions rip through the streets, each blast a deafening scream against the silence of the night. The city trembles under the relentless assault, a symphony of destruction echoing through the ages. Flickering gas lamps cast dancing shadows across the damp concrete of the claustrophobic bunker. Maps charting the enemy's relentless advance are pinned haphazardly, filling the space. Winston Churchill, determination etched on his face, addresses his advisors. His voice resonates with conviction. "We shall never surrender." Under the scorching North African sun, Italian forces march relentlessly across the endless desert. Tanks rumble, their treads churning sand into swirling clouds of dust, obscuring the horizon. The sun glints harshly off the metal, baking the landscape and the men below. A distant rumble echoes, a symphony of war carried on the hot desert wind. The Axis powers advanced across continents, believing victory was inevitable. Narration booms, the Atlantic churns, a starless sky mirroring its black expanse. U-boats stalk, barely visible against the horizon. The air stings with burning oil and blood, a metallic tang that foreshadows doom. Explosions tear through the night, geysers erupting in violent defiance against the dark. Ships groan and sink, their death throes echoing across the unforgiving waves. Tiny figures struggle in the frigid water, their cries lost to the wind and the sea's vast indifference. 1941. Dawn breaks on the Eastern Front, the sun a silent witness to the brutal dawn of Operation Barbarossa. Maps detail the massive German invasion tearing into the Soviet Union, lines of attack like veins of fire across the land. The stark reality of war unfolds as the invasion begins. The sun casts long shadows over the vast landscape, a grim omen of the battles to come. Inside Soviet headquarters, frantic officers scramble, their faces etched with worry amidst the chaos of the German onslaught. The air vibrates with fear as the relentless German advance sends waves of panic spiraling through the Soviet ranks. Disorganized movements and hushed, urgent whispers betray the Soviets' desperate struggle against the overwhelming force. Confusion reigns as the once imposing headquarters descends into disarray, reflecting the grim reality of the Eastern Front. Snow falls, a relentless curtain burying the Russian landscape in white. German soldiers trudge through the drifts, each step a battle against exhaustion. Faces are etched with cold, a stark testament to the unforgiving winter. The wind howls, a constant, biting reminder of nature's brutal power. Narration. The strategic mistakes that led to Germany's downfall were manifold. Narration. They all stemmed from a fundamental underestimation of the Russian winter. Dust devils dance across the African plains, the aftermath of a brutal clash etched into the desolate landscape. Trucks and tanks stand as silent sentinels, bearing the scars of a hard-won victory under the relentless sun. Allied forces, weary but triumphant, survey the horizon, their faces grim with the cost of war. As the tide turned, technology and coordination became decisive, AI observes, the weight of strategy heavy in the air. Under the scorching Italian sun, Allied troops surge onto the beach, boots pounding the sand. Helmets glint, reflecting the harsh light as the soldiers begin their advance inland. The ocean shimmers, a stark contrast to the grim determination etched on the faces of the men. A new front opens, marked by courage and the echoing roar of battle. Narration. This invasion marked the opening of a crucial new front in the war. In a smoke-filled room, Allied commanders gather, the weight of D-Day heavy in the air. Maps and models of Normandy's coastline are spread across the tables, each detail a life at stake. Sunlight pierces through the tense atmosphere, illuminating dust motes dancing in the silence. The air crackles with unspoken anticipation, the fate of the world hanging in the balance. Under a starless sky in 1944 England, soldiers huddle, their faces marked by determination and fear. In the dim light, some soldiers pen trembling letters home, final words to their loved ones. Others kneel in quiet prayer, seeking solace before the impending dawn of D-Day. The air is thick with anticipation, heavy silence broken by distant artillery rumbles. A somber mood hangs over the camp, a palpable sense of foreboding before the battle. The air screams with the fury of war as the D-Day invasion unfolds on the blood-soaked beaches of Normandy. Soldiers charge into a storm of bullets, a relentless human wave against the unyielding Nazi defenses. Explosions tear the sky, casting a hellish rain of sand and smoke as men fall on the bloodied sands. The relentless advance presses on, undeterred by the carnage, each step bought with courage and sacrifice. Inside the German bunker, officers crowd over maps, their worry deepening with each distant explosion. Radios crackle, broadcasting urgent reports that intensify the growing sense of dread. Cigarette smoke hangs heavy, mingling with the scent of sweat. A wave of panic washes over them as they desperately attempt to coordinate a defense. The relentless Allied invasion looms, threatening to breach the bunker's thick walls. In war-torn Europe, Allied forces advance, pushing back the shadow of tyranny, liberating towns one by one. Streets once shadowed by fear now burst with life as jubilant crowds gather. Tears stream down faces, a mixture of sorrow for the past and hope for the future. Cheers erupt, echoing through the streets as the soldiers march forward, symbols of freedom. The air is thick with emotion, a collective sigh of relief sweeping through the liberated lands. Flags wave, a vibrant display of resilience and gratitude towards their saviors. Germany, 1945. The land is scarred, a testament to the relentless Allied advance. Amidst the devastation, smoke billows, painting the sky with shades of gray and orange. Pockets of German resistance emerge from the rubble, their desperation palpable. They fight with fierce tenacity, their faces grim in the face of inevitable defeat. Berlin, 1945. The sky is stained gray by billowing smoke as the ground trembles under the relentless artillery fire. Buildings are reduced to hollowed-out skulls, silent witnesses to the city's agony. Soviet troops advance through the debris-strewn streets, their faces grimed with soot and resolve. Rifles raised, they are ready to engage the unseen enemy lurking within the ruins. Intermittent explosions send shockwaves through the ground, a constant reminder of the ongoing battle. Each blast further crumbles what remains, adding to the city's devastation and the troops' grim determination. Inside the bunker, dust motes swirl in a lone sunbeam, illuminating the oppressive gloom. Hitler, gaunt and pale, gestures wildly at a map, his eyes burning with manic energy. The distant rumble of artillery grows louder, a grinding threat echoing through the bunker. Despair clings to the damp concrete walls, a palpable weight in the stale air. The map, a symbol of fading hope, reflects the dim light in Hitler's crazed eyes. Each distant blast tightens the grip of fear within the claustrophobic space. Berlin, 1945. Amidst the smoke-filled ruins, the Reichstag stands as a shattered monument to a fallen empire. Soviet soldiers raise their flag above the Reichstag, a symbol of victory amidst the desolation. The Reich collapsed, narration declares, the weight of history hanging heavy in the air. The war machine that once seemed unstoppable was no more, the narration concludes, a finality to the brutal conflict. Berlin, 1945. A panorama of skeletal buildings under a pallid sky, monuments now just rubble. The streets are choked with debris. Whispering winds carry the scent of ash and decay through the ruined city. Mournful shadows stretch across the wasteland, highlighting the utter devastation. Silence hangs heavy, broken only by the wind whistling through hollowed windows. Narration: the cost of conflict, a price etched in stone and blood. Inside Allied headquarters, leaders gather around a mahogany table, the air thick with history and the scent of old paper. Maps and documents lay scattered, silent witnesses to battles fought and won. Relief washes over their faces, etched with the deep lines of exhaustion and triumph. The weight of the world lifts as they stand united, the dawn of a new era breaking under a serene, clear sky. The endless waves of the Pacific roll gently, hiding the storm brewing beneath its surface. A tranquil facade masks the intense conflict escalating across these vast waters. Narration: but while Europe lay in ruins, across the Pacific, another war was reaching its boiling point. The calm sea belies the imminent clash, a dramatic contrast to the impending violence. The Pacific Ocean sprawls, endless and serene beneath the vast, clear sky of 1945. The horizon blurs, a line between the tranquil blue of the sea and the serene blue of the sky. The scene fades, the light dimming, enveloping the view in shadow. Words emerge from the darkness. To be continued. The Pacific Front.